You know, in the world of modern software, it's not just about writing the code. It's about building it, testing it, and getting it out the door reliably every single time. And for Java developers, one tool has been the absolute cornerstone of this process for almost 2 decades, Apache Maven. So today, we're going to dive into what makes this thing tick and why it's so darn essential.
So here's our roadmap. First, we'll look at the absolute chaos that Maven was designed to fix. Then we'll get into its guts, the core components that make it work. After that, we'll see its superpower, mastering dependencies. Then we'll see where it fits into the whole DevOps world, and we'll wrap up with some best practices and a peek at what's next. Let's do this.
All right, let's rewind to the beginning. Before tools like Maven, just getting a project ready to run was, well, it was often a complete mess. We're talking about all the hurdles you have to jump over before a single user ever even gets to see your application.
It's a super frustrating question, right? You've written what you think is perfect code, but the project just won't build. This wasn't just a small annoyance. This was a common and, frankly, a project-killing problem that was screaming for a real solution.
And this chaos, it usually boils down to a few usual suspects. You've got dependency hell, where you're trying to manually keep track of hundreds of different library files, or, my favorite, when a project works perfectly on one developer's machine but completely blows up on another's. Throw in some complex manual steps for packaging everything up, and you've got a recipe for disaster.
And this is where Maven steps onto the stage. See, it's not just a build tool, it's a whole project management system. And the name itself, Maven, is actually Yiddish for accumulator of knowledge. And that's exactly what it does. It gathers all the knowledge about how to build a project into one standardized, predictable place.
So how does Maven actually pull this off? It all comes down to its core components. The best way to think about it is like this. Every big construction project needs 2 things, a detailed blueprint and a master builder. For Maven, that's the POM file and the build lifecycle.
At the very heart of every single Maven project is this one file, pom.xml. This is the project object model, or POM for short. It's an XML file that describes literally everything about your project. What it is, what other libraries it needs to function, and exactly how to build it. It is the single source of truth. And inside that POM file, every project gets identified by 3 coordinates. You've got the group ID, which is usually your company's identifier, then the artifact ID, which is basically the project's name, and finally a version. Put those 3 together and you've created a totally unique address for your project in the entire Java universe. Now, this right here is the fundamental shift. It's so important. Before Maven, with older tools like Ant, you had to write these long scripts detailing every single step, how to compile the code, how to copy the files over. Maven completely changed the game. You just declare what you want, like I want a jar file, and Maven already knows the standard, proven way to get it done.
And this is how it knows. Maven has this built-in default lifecycle with a set of phases that always run in the specific order. So when you tell Maven to package your code, it's smart enough to know that, hey, first I have to compile everything, and then I need to run the tests. It makes the whole process standardized, predictable, and best of all, automated.
Okay, now we get to what a lot of people consider Maven's killer feature, managing dependencies. This is how we say goodbye to manually downloading library files from sketchy websites, and hello to a world of automated, reliable control.
So check this out. It looks pretty simple, right? To pull in a massive, powerful framework like Spring Web, all you have to do is add this tiny little block of XML to your POM file. That's it. You've told Maven you need it. But here's the real question.
Seriously, take a guess. How many different library files do you think Maven is about to go find, download, and manage for you, all based on that one little entry? 1? 2? It's kind of like a magic trick.
The answer is a whole bunch. And this is the magic of what we call transitive dependencies. Maven is smart. It knows that Spring Boot Starter Web itself depends on other libraries, like Spring Web and Jackson and so on, and it just automatically downloads and manages all of them for you. This one feature alone saves countless hours and prevents so many errors.
So yeah, Maven is fantastic at building a project on its own, but its real power in the modern world is how beautifully it plugs into the entire software development workflow.
I mean, Maven plays nice with everyone. Your favorite IDE, whether it's IntelliJ or VS Code, it understands that pom.xml file instantly.
Your CI/CD pipeline, be it Jenkins or GitHub Actions, can run Maven commands with a single line. You can even use plugins to build Docker containers directly from your project. It's a true ecosystem player.
All right, let's start to bring it all home. We've seen what Maven is and what it does. But now, how do we use it effectively in the real world, and where is it headed?
First off, it really helps to see where Maven fits in. If you compare it to an older tool like Ant, you see it offers that amazing built-in dependency management. But if you compare it to a newer tool like Gradle, the big difference is the configuration. Maven uses XML, which some see as rigid, but it's also incredibly stable and predictable. Basically, Maven is all about convention over configuration, while Gradle goes for ultimate flexibility.
Now, to really use Maven like a pro, there are a few golden rules. First, always lock down your dependency versions. You do not want surprise updates breaking your build. Use a central dependency management section to keep things consistent, especially in big projects. And for any serious team, setting up an internal repository is a must to manage your own company's artifacts.
I think this quote from the source material just says it all, really. After everything we've looked at, from the POM file to the lifecycles to dependency management, it's crystal clear that Maven is so much more than just a tool. It truly is the foundation that makes consistent, scalable, and automated Java development possible.
And that brings us to one final thought. By taking care of all the messy, complicated parts of the build process, Maven frees us, the developers, to focus on what we do best, solving problems and creating amazing things. So I'll just leave you with this question. What could you build if you never had to worry about the build process again?